Nick Varner is the quiet man of pocket billiards, the #1 player in North America, and today he plays the young man who would be king, Johnny Archer, barely half his age. Kim Prince, along with Bill in Cardona in Las Vegas for the semifinals of the World 9-Ball Championships, and Nick Varner has dropped the 8-ball on the break.
That's right, Kim. He's dropped the 8 on the break, but he didn't come up with the shot. What he wants to do now is play a safety, some type of a safety here. And he would like to place the cue ball behind another ball, which he's done. Very nicely done.
The Grand Ballroom at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas. And this man, Johnny Archer, 22 years old.
Well, this isn't the shot that Johnny wanted to start the match with. He can't see the one. He has to hit indirectly into the cushion, then trying to hit the one in that fashion. Looks like he's going to use the bottom cushion to hit first, and then go toward the one, in hopes that he'll contact the one. Very low percentage shot. Well, scratching into the side, Nick Varner now has the luxury of putting cue ball in hand anywhere on the table.
A gift early on in the semifinal match.
Well, Nick's actually created this opportunity for himself by playing a perfect safety off the one. The balls are open, and I don't really foresee much of a problem from this point.
Nick Varner works the gum and will work that table. Perhaps the most consistent all-around player on the World Tour.
Well, Nick Varner has developed the skills to do just about anything that he wants to do on the pool table. And that's why his peers regard him as possibly the best all-around player in the world today. Now, he's positioned the cue ball in just about an ideal position on the table. What he needs to do is pocket the 4 in the upper left-hand corner, going toward the 5 for position on the 5 in the upper right-hand corner pocket. Okay, once again, he's positioned the cue ball ideally on the 5, playing position for the upper right-hand corner. The cue ball will then naturally go across table toward the 6. He would like to hit the side cushion and then come out about a foot, foot and a half from the cushion, approximately in the area that he had his tip of his cue stick in. He looks very comfortable at the table, Kim. He's a seasoned player, and it certainly shows. It's very important to get the lead in a match of this importance. Okay, now, well, it looks like he's come up a little short, or possibly hit it too softly. I don't know which, but he doesn't have the shot that he wanted. Oh, I never thought that was possible for him to miss a shot like that, but of course, things like that happen occasionally. But it looks like he suffered little consequence. Johnny doesn't have a very, very makeable shot. Matter of fact, it's a quite low percentage shot. Fortunately, there's a built-in safety along with this shot. I think that he's going to put much of his effort in playing the cue ball, the leave, opposed to pocketing the ball.
You don't think he's going to try to sink this ball? He's just been given a tremendous break by Nick Varner.
Well, I do think he's going to try to sink the ball, but only about 25% of his effort will go into pocketing the ball. 75% of his effort will go into playing the leave. Since it's a low percentage shot, he wants to make sure that if Nick comes back to the table, he's not going to have an easy shot.
Opening game, a race to 9. First man to win 9 games.
He's hit it well.
And that won't drop.
Well, notice the position of the cue ball now, resting on the bottom cushion, the 9 ball at the other end of the table. He's created a lot of distance in between the cue ball and the 9 ball, and as a bonus, he's located the cue ball on the bottom cushion. Nick has a tough shot.
How many times would he make this normally?
Well, considering the situation, probably 50% of the time. So the next time that shot comes up, he'll probably make it.
And he did not stroke that ball well. You could hear that.
It's quite unusual to see 3 9-balls missed in any one game of a match. Johnny Archer now has a problem. This shot isn't what I consider an easy shot by any means. It's a very long shot. The cue ball is resting against the bottom of the side cushion. I make Johnny about a 40-60 underdog to pocket this ball. Well,
and now each player returning the favor. And here, if Nick Varner can't make this, I think he's going to walk off. He'd go home if he can't drop this one.
well, that's true. They have shown their benevolence here in the first game, and Nick should pocket the 9-ball.
And so Nick Varner, after blinking twice, finally drops the 9-ball, and he wins the first game of this semifinal match. And hello again, everybody. I'm Kim Prince, along with former world 9-ball champion Bill Incardona, here at the Sahara Grand Ballroom in Las Vegas. And Bill, when was the last time, or have you ever seen players of this caliber miss the 9-ball on 4 consecutive tries?
Absolutely not. I've never seen it before, and I may never again see it. Players of this caliber do not miss the 9-ball 4 times. It's highly unlikely that they'll miss the 9-ball at all.
Yeah, a real wake-up call. We started the week with 64 players from 24 countries, and believe it or not, the international field has caught up to the Americans. Does that come as a surprise, do you think, to the Americans?
I think it has come as a surprise to the Americans because Steve Mizrak didn't think he was going to lose. Yeah. Alan Hopkins certainly didn't think he was going to lose. Kim Davenport just about jumped in the pool. That was funny. I'm sorry, Kim, but anyways.
Why? Why do you think this happened?
European players and also the Asian players have caught up because of the popularity of the game in both of their countries.
Okay, let's take a look at the draw now. You get an idea of the caliber of this international field. In the top half, Efren Reyes of the Philippines and Chang Chi Yao of Taiwan made it into the quarterfinals. And then in the bottom half, Earl Strickland had to face the German Suke in the quarters and the Japanese Takashi Toda in the semis. And Kevin Cusick is with our winner now.
Earl Strickland is the number 3 ranked player in the world. He's the winner also of the other semifinal match. He's been playing excellent all week. He's been touting each and every opponent. And Earl, you got to be happy about your play thus far.
Yes, I am, Kevin. I played very well this week. I'm looking forward to playing in the finals. I'm defending champion, and I'm trying to win again.
Nick Varner is ranked number 1, and Johnny Archer is really the new kid on the block. Is there any one person you'd like to see in the final?
Well, all year it's been looking like me and Archer were going to play in the finals, and he's either got beat, or I've got beat, or we've had to beat each other. And I'm going to predict that it'll be me and Archer in the finals.
Okay, Kim, there you have it.
Well, actually, Earl may be whistling by the graveside, I think, picking the younger man, less experience. How do you call it, Bill?
Well, I totally disagree with his prediction. I definitely feel that Nick Varner is a much more experienced player. Johnny Archer's 22 years old, has less experience. Nick Varner knows how to win. He's been in this spot before. He's won. Johnny has yet to win. I disagree with her. I like Nick Varner.
A strong suit for either we should look for?
Well, Nick Varner is a much more deliberate player. He uses very good judgment when he's at the table. On the other hand, Johnny Archer, being the younger player, if he's going to make mistakes, it's going to be in judgment. I think that's where the matches are going to be won, in just in judgment at the table. Okay,
the king and the heir apparent. More of the semifinal action from the World 9-Ball Championships when we come back. The rules of 9-ball are really quite simple. They are shot in order. The winner must pocket the 9-ball. 9-ball in the break wins. That happens every once in a while, and it is a race to 9. First man to 9 games wins. And this is the Sahara Hotel. Nick Varner is up 1-0 and breaks. And Bill, he drops 1 ball in the break. Will he get a second? Yes, he does.
Yes, but he hasn't come up with a shot. And so what he needs to do now is to keep Johnny off balance. He wants to play some sort of a safety, preferably putting the cue ball behind the 4, leaving Johnny no shot at all.
Left-handed.
ambidextrous player playing with both hands equally as well, or just about. And just like in basketball, Kim, it's important to be able to use your left hand equally as much as your right at times. Now, Johnny wants to kick from the side cushion to the bottom cushion and then contact the one. In the event that he doesn't pocket the one, the cue ball will then go up table, the one ball will stay down table. He'll create a problem for Nick.
It drops, and he gets it up table.
Well, pocketing the ball was just a bonus. Archer was able to pocket the ball, but he's left himself a testy shot on the 2. Okay, notice now where the arrow is. Now he has to hit the bottom cushion, like so, and the cue ball then goes up table.
And so now looking at the table, how does it shape up here? Can he run this table from here?
Well, it's not going to be easy, that's for sure. The first shot is a testy one.
That's more than testing. That's a scratch.
Well, things are going exactly the way Nick wanted them to. Johnny's starting off a little slow, a little nervous out there. Like I mentioned before, he hasn't really had much success in big matches. Nick knows that.
Nick Varner now with ball in hand anywhere in the table. And from here, he should be able to position himself, I would think, Bill, to run the table.
Yeah, anytime you give Nick Varner a ball in hand, it should prove to be fatal. Nick's positioned the cue ball in an ideal position on the table. Now, the only thing he needs to do is pocket the 3 in the lower right-hand corner, hitting the side cushion, and then going to the center of the table in about the area where he has his cue stick, or at least the tip of his cue stick. 9-ball is a game of angles, and it's important for the players to keep some sort of an angle on just about every shot.
The ballroom at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas. Second game, semifinals.
Okay, it's important for him to get a nice angle on the 5, considering the area where the 7 is, up table. And then once again, he'll need another angle off of the 7 to drop back down table for the 9. We're watching one of the true masters of the game play. There's no question about that. I don't believe he has a weak area in his game. Once again, he has an ideal angle. Come down table for the 9.
And he almost scratched there.
But it doesn't bother him, you know. He doesn't even realize how close he did come to that side pocket.
And the second game goes to Nick Varner, who right now is the #1 player in North America. So he leads Johnny Archer 2-0 in this semifinal action from Las Vegas, Nevada. Nick Varner won the third game. He now leads 3-0 and still has the break. Drops the 2-ball. On the break, will he get a second? No. But his table doesn't look all that good. On the left there, Tony Brackett, who is Nick Varner's fiance, and on the right, Shannon, who is Johnny Archer's girlfriend, along with a good crowd here at the Sahara Ballroom in Las Vegas.
Yes, and once again, he was unable to come up with a shot off of the break, Kim. So he's going to have to play some sort of a safety. I look for him to try to get the cue ball behind the 3. Very meticulous at the table, making sure that he looks at every possible angle. Well, he may have come a little bit short of his mark here, Kim. It looks like Johnny may be able to see the right-hand portion of the 1 ball. And if he can see the right-hand side of the 1, what he'll probably do is brush the 1 on the right-hand side, sending the cue ball 2 cushions around the 5 and 8 down the table.
You think he's going to play a safety, or he'll try to put the 1 ball in?
I don't think he has enough room to pocket the 1 in the corner pocket. I look for him to play a safety here. Okay, he would like to clear the 9. Well, he brushed the 9. He may have a problem, but he was able to stay underneath the 9. Now Nick steps to the table without a shot. Being a student of the game, he's developed many skills, and one that he has in his bag is the jump cue. And I wouldn't be surprised if he went to his bag and got out the small stick called the jump cue. And there he goes.
And this is my favorite shot. If he's going to do what we think he is, he's going to jump that 9 ball and come down and try to pocket the 1. I mean, I've watched this shot a good deal, and I still can't figure out how they do it.
It's one of the most exciting shots in the game. If he's able to pocket the 1, you'll hear the response from the crowd. He needs to jump over the top of the 1. Oh, incredible. It's really an incredible shot, and the crowd loves it. The only person that doesn't love it is the man right there in the chair. Okay, not only was he able to pocket the 1, but he actually got great position for the 3. He should go 1 cushion off the side cushion, somewhere where the center of the table is for position on the 4. Just about there. Okay, the 5 ball will be the next ball, cross table. He's looking at it now. This is the key shot. He wants to get an angle on the 5 that he'll be able to drop nicely on the 6, and that's the key shot of the red. The 5 to the 6, but of course he has to get the right angle off of this shot.
A race to 9. Nick Varner now up 3 games to none. Johnny Archer's got to get a chance here somewhere.
Well, I just heard the official.
I saw it move. I saw it move from my angle.
Well, the official is claiming that Nick Varner moved one of the balls on the table, the cue ball, and Nick clearly doesn't think he did.
Well, by his expression, it certainly tells me that he didn't foul. Let's take a little closer look at it. I don't see anything yet.
On that replay, it appears that he did not touch, but the call stands, and now Johnny Archer has a big break here.
This could be a very, very big swing. But of course, this is exactly what Johnny needed. Trailing in the match 3-0, he needed something simple, something easy that'll get him in the rhythm that he enjoys playing in. I don't foresee any problems in the remaining part of this rack. He'll just force the cue ball. After pocketing the 8 to the side, he'll force the cue ball toward the 9. This will be his first game of the match. First game that he'll win in the match.
Well, the call goes against Nick Varner. He doesn't like it, but it stands, and then Johnny Archer goes on to win his first game of this semifinal championships from Las Vegas. Back in a minute. Johnny Archer won the 5th game, and now we join the action as he breaks going into the 6th. He gets a ball in the break. Kim Prince along with Bill Incardona at the World 9-Ball Championships from Las Vegas.
But notice the location of the 1 and the 9, Kim, tied up. The problem hasn't been pocketing balls on the break. The problem's been coming up with the shot. And it doesn't appear that Johnny can pocket the 1, so he's going to probably have to play some sort of a safety. I look for him to place the cue ball behind the 9, locking up Nick solidly behind the 9. Very nicely done. Well, he's cut off almost all the rails on this shot. Nick can't come down table to hit the 1. He can't go to the left of the table to hit the 1. The only accessible route that he does have is by hitting the bottom cushion and then coming up table toward the 1 in that fashion. But not much room for error. He would like to hit in between the 4 ball in the upper right-hand corner pocket with the cue ball. Then he has to go in between the 6 and the 9. Very little room to work with.
If you were good at geometry, perhaps you could make this shot. Angles, always angles in this game.
Oh, that was an incredible hit. Incredible. Playing any other player, Johnny would have stepped to the table probably getting ball in hand. Not this time. He's faced with a tough shot.
Both delicate and decisive in the same move. Right back at you, in your face. And he doesn't like what it's left him, though.
Well, he hit the shot as accurately as he possibly could have, but he didn't come up with the shot. Position on that particular shot was just as much of a problem as pocketing the ball. Now he's located the cue ball, positioned the cue ball behind the 9, creating a big, big problem for himself.
Interesting sidelight. The first tournament that Johnny Archer ever went to was won by that man, Nick Varner.
He's going to have to create an angle here, Kim. It looks like he's going to go to the side cushion, to the bottom cushion, back to the other side cushion, and then hit the 2 in that fashion.
Just a routine shot.
Yeah, really, routine, all right.
Well, now, Bill, clearly he seems to be concerned about this. I think he senses this is a very big swing shot for him.
Well, it definitely is. He's already trailing in the match, and he can't afford to drop much further behind. And it all stems from Nick's ability to hit the 1 ball, kicking it from the bottom cushion. And that's one of the reasons why he's the toughest player in the world to beat. Constantly and consistently working himself out of big problems. Now, Nick's the player at the table with a ball in hand. Pretty big swing.
Should he be able to run the table from here?
Well, being the player that he is, I would like to say yes, he should run the table from here, but of course you can't take anything for granted. The key shot in this particular rack is position on the 6 from the 5 to the 6. He's got a nice angle on the 4, come up table toward the 5. The position of the 4 is located near the upper right-hand corner pocket.
Always kind of interesting to watch the eyes of these players, because you will see them referencing not the shot they're about to make, but the second or the third shot afterwards.
Well, he walked around the table to take a look at the 6, and at that time he's making the ball in his head. He's making the ball, and he's visualizing where he wants the cue ball. Nine ball is a game of angles. It's important to keep an angle on just about every shot. And he has another one here. After pocketing the 7, the cue ball will then go naturally toward the 9.
Switches hands. Ambidextrous. Now for the 9 ball. Will give him a 4-2 lead. And he gets it. And that is why Nick Varner is the #1 player in North America. We'll be back with more action in just a minute.
4, Archer 2.
Nick Varner has gone ahead 5-3 against Johnny Archer, barely half his age, and now we join the action as Nick Varner will come down table to try to pocket the 3 ball. He has already dropped 3 balls. There's a long shot here, a stretch.
Yeah, the cue ball is positioned quite a bit up table, and Nick's going to have to stretch in order to pocket it. Nick standing only 5'5". You know, this could create a problem for him. Being very careful not to...
And a foul is called. Apparently, Varner has moved the ball with his vest, which he just tucked in.
Well, the ball was positioned underneath Nick's body, so therefore we really aren't able to see what happened. But Nick was very careful in addressing the ball. I'm surprised that the official called a foul.
And I think Nick actually wants us to replay it to see if, in point of fact, he did foul. Well, perhaps it's good for the NFL, but I don't think we've come that far in billiards yet. And so now Nick Varner, for the second time in this match, this race to 9, has been called for a foul, and he's called out the referee, and they're going to talk about it.
Matter of fact, the tournament director, Pat Fleming, is just interceded, and I guess Nick wants to be able to review this on the monitor, which he can't do that, so...
Sorry, Nick, it's not going to happen today. Johnny Archer now has a shot to get this table under his belt. He is behind by 2 games.
And once again, this is what Johnny needed, especially at this time in the match, trailing by 2 games. I don't foresee any problems here, Kim. 4 ball up the right-hand corner, upper right-hand corner, playing position for the 5. The ball is underneath him in the lower right. Oh, he gets off of the table, making sure he doesn't foul. Stuffing in his shirt, in his cummerbund.
It has been difficult throughout this match for either one of these players to develop a consistent rhythm. There have been some back and forths, and Johnny Archer especially has had difficulty getting enough time on the table to get his rhythm going. And I think, Bill, we can see he's just not leaving himself with the kind of shots that he wants.
Well, he's fallen short of the mark, Kim. This could create a big problem because not only is he short of the mark, but he has to elevate the butt of his cue. He has to shoot over the 7 ball. And this could be very interesting. Well, he wasn't particularly happy with the effort that he made there, and that's understandable. Nick steps to the table with another opportunity to extend the lead.
Let's go, Dave.
Johnny could have come within 1 game of the lead if he was able to run the remaining balls on the table. But that's not what happened. This is a very big game here, especially for Archer. So if Archer goes on to lose this match, he can look back to game number 9.
Does go to Nick Varner. Twice he has been called for fouls, and twice he has come back to win the game in which he was called. And we'll be back to the World Championships in just a moment. A recent study tells us that 44 million Americans play pocket billiards, and this man is first among them. And he gets the 2 ball in the corner pocket again. That's the second time he's dropped that same ball on the break. Clearly he knows something about this table and his particular break.
Well, unlike other games, Nick has come up with the shot. The 3 ball will be the next ball that he'll need to play position for. And it looks like he has an angle that he'll almost have to go into the 3. Now, the problem here is not only pocketing the 1, but controlling the 3 if he has to go into it, which he did. And fortunately, the 3 ball hit the point of the side pocket, coming back toward the cue ball, and he's ended up with a nice shot on the 3. Okay, now the 4 ball is the next ball, which is at the other end of the table. He's got an ideal angle on the 3 to pocket the 3 in the side, going across table for the 4. Okay, the angle that he has now suggests that he should go 2 cushions, bottom cushion, side cushion, playing position for the 5 in the upper left-hand corner. Cue ball speed is crucial on this shot. But it didn't present much of a problem for Nick. 6 ball is the ball located near the left-hand side. He'll then go 1 cushion off the side rail to the center table for position on the 6.
We began the week with 64 players from all over the world, and many of them have stuck around to watch the action. We're down to 3 now. Earl Strickland has already won his semifinal. And here Nick Varner and Johnny Archer. And right now Nick Varner has things going all his way.
Yeah, game 9 seemed to have been the key game of the match, and that's the game that's given Nick this opportunity in game 10. Archer, after faltering in game 9, hasn't had another opportunity back at the table.
And the 7th game goes to Nick Varner as Johnny Archer is glued to his seat. And Bill, it has been
Varner 7.
so far an inconsistent match, but when it counted, Nick Varner has made good shots like this one.
Being the great position player that Nick Varner is he's able to put the cue ball into position for the 5 just about where he needs to.
And as we go to break, Bob Hunter has a bit of pool sleight of hand for us.
Hi, this is a masse shot. You come to the table and you don't have a clear path to hit the ball. So what you do is elevate the butt of your cue, shoot with right English if you want the ball to curve to the right, and make sure that you don't hit the interfering ball. There.
Nick Varner to break again, and he gets a corner pocket again, and then a ball comes up to the end of the table, so he gets 2 balls off the break.
He has been making the corner ball with regularity, Kim, and that's one of the reasons why he has such a large lead in the match.
Well, let's compare the break from the previous game, game 10, and you'll see he gets the corner ball.
Once again, yes, he did.
And here is game 11.
Okay, here's game 11. Corner ball once again in the corner, which it has gone in the corner once again. Well, look what happened there, Kim. He looked like he hit the 4 ball with his stick. I mean...
It did. It looks on the replay as if that 4 ball hit his cue on the way back up the table before it went in. But we're not telling. Nick's already had 2 calls go against him, and we're not about to pipe up now.
Okay, now Nick shoots this particular shot opposite hand, and we can see the value in shooting and being able to shoot shots opposite hand. Ordinarily, you would have had to use the bridge if you weren't able to shoot that shot with your left hand, which Nick shows that he has the skill to do that also. The balls are opened. There shouldn't be much of a problem in this rack, providing that he is able to maintain strong concentration at the table.
Nick Varner, who started playing pool when he was 5 years old, after his father bought a small pool room.
Okay, he's looking at the 5 ball, which he'll play position for in the upper right-hand corner pocket. Now he's making sure he doesn't interfere with the 5 ball in any way. That was the key shot of the rack. If he was able to get the correct angle on the 5, he could play position for the 6 in the right-hand side. The remainder of the rack should be quite simple.
Given that beach nut a good working over.
Keep in mind, Archer has not been able to get back at the table after faltering in game number 9. Nice cue ball speed. He's located the cue ball or positioned the cue ball in just about an ideal position on the table. Needs to just to pocket the 8, drawing the cue ball back slightly. You really have to like his style, Kim. He's very deliberate and makes very few mistakes at the table.
And another game for Nick Varner, who was inconsistent in the early going, but he is up now 8-3.
Once again, Nick Varner shows us the touch of a master as he plays position on the 8.
And as we go to break, one of our competitors, Jeff Carter, has a trick shot for us.
I'd like to shoot a shot that I made famous at Muddler's Pool Room in Chicago, Illinois. What I'm going to do is shoot these balls up towards the corner pocket. The cue ball is going to follow them, and it's going to hook around and come back and make the 2 ball in the corner pocket. Well, you think I'm kidding? Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, all right.
Las Vegas, the Sahara Hotel, bring you money if you're coming out here. And right now, the money distinctly is on Nick Varner. He is breaking yet one more time. He has had great success with pocketing balls on the break. Can he do it again? Bingo. There goes the corner ball in the pocket, and he also gets a bonus in the side pocket. So he drops 2 balls on the break.
Okay, he's pocketed 2 balls on the break, and it looks like he may have a shot on the 3. It's very marginal whether or not he has enough room to pocket the 3. He's going to take a look at it from this angle. I have never been able to do that. I have to take a look at the shot from the other angle to determine whether or not I have enough room or not. Well, apparently he had enough room to pocket the 3. Now, position on the 4 seems to be a little offline here. It looks like he's going to have to play position in between the 6 and the 7, which are the 2 balls to the left of him. He's going to have to go in between the 6 and 7 with the cue ball, doing 3 cushions around for position on the 5.
Nick Varner 1 game away from this race to 9 and a berth against Earl Strickland in the finals.
In between the 6 and the 7, cross table now for position on. What's happening here, Kim? That's unbelievable that he could scratch 3 cushions in the side pocket. Unbelievable.
The last revolution drops that cue ball into the pocket, too.
Well, Johnny Archer's hanging by a thread. One mistake hereafter in this match could be history. Keep in mind, this is the first opportunity he's had back at the table since Game 9. The 5 to the 6 seems to be the key shot in this particular rack. Okay, once again, it seems like he's fallen a little bit short of the mark, and he's going to have to do something a little extra here. Very nicely done. He will now have to play position 2 cushions cross table for position on the 8. Well, it looks like Archer's not dead yet, Kim, and this is game number 12. With this win, he'll just come 1 game closer to the lead.
And that's an unfamiliar sight in the last few games for Johnny Archer. And it brings some of the folks alive here. So John Archer is still within 4 games of the leader, but he will have his work cut out for him when we come back.
Okay, in rack 13, it's very important for Johnny to control the cue ball off of the break. That seems to be where he should put the emphasis on controlling the cue ball. Pocketing balls hasn't been a problem, which he pockets the corner ball, but he hasn't come up with a shot. Well, it looks like he's going to have to push here, Kim. And the problem is not pushing, the problem is finding an area on the table to push to. He wants to push to an area on the table where Nick's going to have a tough shot, but if he misses it, he's going to suffer a stiff penalty. He's looking for that area now.
And Johnny does elect to do a push, which is a free shot. He can hit the cue ball without hitting another ball or a rail, which he has done, and left, it would appear, a very difficult shot for Nick Varner.
Yes, he certainly has. And I'd be surprised if Nick accepts this shot, because it is a very, very difficult shot, and if he happens to miss it, it carries a stiff penalty. Notice the location of the 5 and the 8 ball on the left-hand side of our screen. That seems to be the problem area in this rack. If he elects to shoot the 1 ball, the cue ball will then go naturally toward that area where the 5 and 8 are, and it probably will go into the 5, freeing the 5 loose of the 8. Very nicely done. By freeing the 5 loose of the 8, he has made this rack quite simple if he's able to pocket the 2. Okay, once again, we'll have the opportunity to watch the true beauty of this shot. He cuts in the 1, going into the 5, freeing it from the 8. The bonus is position on the 2. Notice where the position of the 5 is now. He freed up the entire rack.
And here's a situation where Nick Varner took a chance at a crucial stage in a match that he's on top of. Perhaps he might not have played that shot exactly that way if it had been closer. Perhaps he would have played it safe. But here, now he seems to have control of the table, and this, if he can run it, will give him a berth in the finals.
Well, this is the area where Nick Varner excels in. He needs only 1 game to close out Archer in the match. He's a very deliberate player. He's going to make sure he doesn't do anything foolish, and he's going to go ahead and run the remaining balls on the table. That's my prediction. It looks like all he needs to do now is pocket the 6 in lower right-hand corner pocket, drawing the cue ball back for position on the 7 in the left-hand side. Just like so. Varner knows how to win. He's the holder of many titles. And with this rack, will give him the opportunity to face Earl Strickland in the finals of the World Tournament.
9-ball is in. That is the race to 9. It goes to Nick Varner. The very likable, and I think in this case a very relieved Nick Varner has gone on to beat Johnny Archer, and he will meet Earl Strickland in the final. And a few words with a referee who I suspect is equally relieved because his decisions did not affect the ultimate outcome. The final score then is Nick Varner 9-4 over young Johnny Archer. And the key to the match would appear to have occurred back in game number 9 when Archer misses a relatively easy ball. From that point on, things went mostly Nick Varner's way. And right now, Kevin Cusick is with our winner.
Okay, Nick Varner is on his way to the finals, and Nick, after sinking that first 1 ball in the first game, things kind of got on a roll from there for you.
Yeah, I got off to an early lead, and then those fouls, it seemed like those really played a big part of kind of the match because both times I started out, it looked like I was going to be leading 4-0 breaking and might be able to take Johnny out of the match early, and then he called the foul, and then Johnny come back 3-2, and then at 5-3, here it come again, the foul, and I just didn't feel like I made the fouls, and he said I did, so I lost. But then Johnny gave me an opportunity that game, and then I was able to go from there to 8, from 5 to 8, and that's a comfortable position to be in where the other guys got to run 4 or 5 racks.
Well, if body language could talk, you certainly weren't happy about those fouls. What went through your mind in terms of the ref? Did you feel as though you really didn't touch the ball, or did you feel as though you did and he shouldn't have called it?
No, I felt like I didn't touch the balls. You know, I didn't feel like I touched the balls. I think the first one, when I touched the cloth, I think the cue ball wavered. But, you know, as long as I don't do anything to like a shirt sleeve touching or something like that, I don't think that should be a foul. And he said it moved. I said, did I cause it to move? And he said, yeah, when your hand touch a cloth. Well, that happens during a lot of shots. When you're taking a bridge, you see the cue ball waver a little bit just because how firm you got your hand on the cloth itself.
All week long, though, you've been playing consistently. You showed us certainly here why you're the #1 ranked player in the world, and the table tonight seemed to be breaking well.
Yeah, I was having a little trouble early. The one just kept coming up on top, and I managed to get the white ball right on the bottom. But finally, there at the end, I got a couple of open shots and was able to run out and put a lot of pressure on Johnny. And then the last game, I knew the way this table was breaking. If he could get rolling, he might run 3 or 4 racks, and then something funny might happen or something. But they just weren't rolling too good for him because he had a shot at the 1, and here comes a 2 rows right in front of him, and they just didn't roll very good for him.
Well, they may not have rolled good for him, but they did for you. That's why you're the #1 ranked player in the world, and he's off to the final.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And there is a final look at the man who will now go on to the finals, where he will meet Earl Strickland. And that'll be a terrific matchup. We're going to have that on ESPN as well. The #1 and 2 players in North America. So for Bill Incardona and Kevin Cusick, I'm Kim Prince. Thanks for being with us. See you next time at the finals.